Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. You're listening to Holding Down the Fort with Alejandro Soto. I wonder how long I'm going to keep my commitment to that little intro bit. I don't know. It's becoming habitual at this point. So, thanks for sticking it out with me and tuning in to this episode. I've got my friend Maggie Clifton on for today's episode. She and I go way back, World Theater friends, and run into each other in cool places. And yeah, I'm glad to finally have her on the show. We got into a lot of really cool stuff. Let's see. I'm gonna keep this intro short because I don't really have much to say really. This is a good this is a longer episode, so I'm going to keep this short. I'll get into what I got coming up. The weekend of Valentine's Day, I've got a good little round of shows. Valentine's Day in the evening, that's the Friday of February 14th. I'll be playing at the Good Bread Market fundraiser. Good Bread's, they've actually been an unofficial sponsor of the podcast before. Julia and I ate one of their scones on an episode of the Massive Air radio show. So yeah, come on down to Good Bread on Valentine's Day. They're raising money to open up their bakery, which is going to be super awesome. Then the following day, the morning of Saturday 15th, I'll be playing at the YLNI Farmers Market over on East Barry, and I'm DJing a masquerade ball that night for the Parks Department. I just found out about that today. So yeah, check out my Instagram page for more information on all that coming up if you want to come out to a show. Let's see. Go subscribe to the Patreon page. Yeah, that's the best way to support the podcast. If you would like to do so monetarily, you're already listening, so you're giving me that much support, which is it's more than I can ask for. So yeah, thank you for listening, for tuning in. If that's all you can give is your time and attention, that is definitely more than enough. If you want to give me money, I'll take it. So either way, there is a free tier on the Patreon. So yeah, you can sign up and you don't even have to pay anything, and you'll still get to check out the Massive Air radio shows because I'm only doing those on the Patreon. So that's that. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this conversation I had with my friend Maggie Clifton. Maggie.
Hi,
Maggie
Alejandro.
Clifton. Thanks for coming on, joining me for the show. This is cool. I feel like this has been a long time coming.
Really?
I don't know if I've mentioned it to you, but you have been on my list of people to get on the show for a
Oh,
while
that's
now. So I'm
sweet.
glad that this is working out.
Thank you for
Yeah,
inviting
yeah,
me. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, thanks for making the time. So let's see. What's your thing,
What's
Maggie? I
my
was joking about how I
thing?
got started.
Well, honestly, when you were saying, just start how we met, and because my thing is many things,
That is true.
all the things. You and I met when I was the costume designer at the Civic Theater.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
you helped design my wigs.
Yeah, I always forget it was
For
that far back that
Yeah,
we
yeah.
we go.
I remember specifically Rocky Horror Picture Show with Billy Dawson as Frankenfurter, and for the Civic. And
Did I do a wig for him? I think I did, but he ended up not using it.
I,
I think he ended up
you know what? I
choosing
think
to
you're
go
right.
with his own hair.
Yeah, the one I
This worked
remember the
better for
most
him.
was the one for Riff Raff.
Yeah,
because that was like
that was awesome. I made that out of a metal coat hem.
that one would not pass the metal detector.
No, he did not take that through the airport.
So yeah, and then we just kept intersecting and worked on some other shows, some Shakespeare Machine stuff, I think, and some other just performance art. because my background is in performance theater production, mostly design, odds and ends, and yeah, and so whenever you and I would cross paths at those kinds of things, worked on what Faustus,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
that was the big one.
yeah,
That one was wild.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Shows like that are so great. And then yeah, we just have so many common interests, and there for a while. I remember during the COVID times, we had lots of dinners.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that was a real lifesaver. Yeah,
Yeah.
that got us through. That got me through a year. A
So,
wild year living down on Broadway.
right. Oh, Lord, yes. Yep. Yep. The '07.
That was a lot of fun.
So yeah, and since then, you have to intend. Well, I guess intend is once you find your people, it seems like they keep
Hmm.
turning up, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
so yeah, and I still, I do try to attend some of the performance stuff in town, because I still am very interested in engaging in the new art and music and that kind of stuff that folks are doing. Um, but my vocation, I guess, uh, has actually taken me sort of into away from theater, right? And more into the intersectional community. So all of us queers and freaks and you know
The best people.
right.
The island of, you're like the caretaker for the island of
Island.
misfit toys.
That's right. That's right. I curate the island of misfit toys.
You're the
Uh,
cool aunt of
oh
that
my god!
island.
You know how Spirit Halloween had that costume generator
I
meme
think I
thing
heard
this past
about
season?
that.
I
Yeah.
put in like like queer queer auntie or Gen X queer auntie. And the image it pulled up was pretty on point. It was, yeah, it was very, I think it did include like a windbreaker, right? And
Nice.
like, like a piece, piece.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know.
Maybe some of the marble pour art. I
Right?
feel like
Yep.
that's right up that alley. Your projects you do
Uh,
at home on a
given
Sunday
that
afternoon.
Miss Lippy vibe. Uh, so
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I enjoy being around creative people. And so whether it's I'm not meant for the mainstream or the mainstream isn't meant for me,
Hmm.
uh, either way, I've met some really cool, fun folks, including
Yeah,
yourself,
yeah.
since I've been here.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and you're not a Fort Wayne native per se,
no, not
are
really.
you? Or at least I know you've spent time outside of Fort Wayne, like living outside of this town.
Living out, yes, indeed. Oh no, I grew up in Indiana, and I grew
Hmm.
up just about an hour south of here in Wabash County.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And I I grew up on a goat farm in Wabash.
Oh, cool.
I mean, like yeah, it's a working farm. And we did all the things, and I went to school down in Southern Indiana. Um, but then yes, when we graduated, we moved out to Boston, and lived out that way on the East Coast for a few years, and then moved to North Carolina,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and lived in the Triangle, Chapel Hill, Raleigh, Durham situation.
Uh-huh.
And that was really fun. The art scene there was fun and
Mm-hmm.
interesting. And then right, let's see. Well, and then I taught and lived around like the Gulf Coast for a while. I was in the Gulf Coast the summer that Katrina hit.
Oh.
I was in Mobile, I was in Alabama, or I was in Gulfport, uh, and then they evacuated me up to Mobile. Um, and I had gotten to see New Orleans before Katrina hit. So I was working in that area before
Uh-huh,
that.
uh-huh,
And then after that I left that area.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
Then all that catastrophe happened.
Dang.
So I was fortunate I got to see that. And then we moved to DC. well, Maryland, but the Virginia, Maryland, DC area, and lived there like 10 years.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and again, the work I did was very like administrative clerical.
Hmm.
Thank you for calling. How may I direct your call?
Uh-huh.
Um, but in the meantime, I got to do some really great production work with the Washington Shakespeare Company,
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Avant Bard, um, and the Fringe Festival that they have going on. The Capitol Fringe is just spectacular. So
Hmm.
participating in that every year was a treat.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, and then we moved back here. My family's still in Indiana. I was able to get work at the Civic. Um, yeah, and so we came back to the Midwest.
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
That's cool. Yeah.
yeah.
It's a good spot. I was recording with Garrett before you came. I had him here this afternoon, and we were talking about like he said, you know, if you would have told him when he was 18 that at 34 he'd still be in Fort Wayne, like, and
Yeah.
content with it, like totally cool with still being in this town, he would have thought you were crazy. But like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 30 and like I'm here by choice.
I
Like I'm a single
know.
guy. I could go and get a job in a big city and like slum it with a
Sure.
half a dozen roommates in NYC if I like
Builds
really
character.
wanted to. Yeah, I'm sure it does. Like
Yeah.
there's a place for that. And you know, I might be missing out on something for not doing that,
Uh-huh.
but like, I mean, maybe like I'm a little spoiled, but like, you know, I'm here in a studio space that I'm able to afford, like
Oh,
a mile from my
absolutely.
little apartment that I'm able to afford and live
Right.
in by myself, like a
Yeah.
couple miles from my little kitchen job that I work
Yes.
so I can make my
It's
meager
true.
restitution and
Folks
like
in Fort Wayne do
it's
have access to cultural resources.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, and
yeah.
that is definitely true. I I joke that as we were looking for places to move, because my family that I wanted to be closer to is sort of central Indiana. So we were looking within, distance within Cincinnati, Louisville.
Hmm.
Chicago was too cold. This is how,
Yeah.
even though my background is in theater production, I was like, I am not going to Chicago because it's too cold. So, so I was joking with my wife and be like, Fort Wayne, second largest city in Indiana. Uh, so that's sort of our running joke at home.
You
Oh,
make a
come on,
joke about it, it might
come
just
on, it's the
happen.
second largest city in Indiana. Um, and so I don't, I'm not gonna rag on it. There's some great stuff. Um, I am.
But if you want to
If,
rag on it. This is the place. Like
no,
we're holding down the fort.
I'm grateful for opportunities that really let me push boundaries with art in a way
Yeah.
that I do not think not even would not even be well received in Fort Wayne. It would not be received. I mean, think about the pushback they got on Miriam, right? The
Oh, I don't remember
That's the
this.
production one of the
I
high
didn't hear about this.
schools did out at the Follinger. They had to do it at Follinger because the parent group
I did hear about
sort of
this.
bullied the kids into not being able to do the show at school even though it had been vetted.
Uh-huh.
There was nothing in the production other than it did some gender reversal on the Robin Hood character. So
Uh-huh.
Robin Hood and Maid Marian were female. Um, and and the students did pull off the production and they pulled it off with support of the community, which was fantastic,
Right.
that they were able to do that. um but I don't think, for example, there is any company in Fort Wayne that would do a nude Macbeth.
Oh yeah, no.
Right, yeah, no,
Or
see.
Equus. Oh, to the
Equus.
script.
Yeah, no.
Daniel Radcliffe level.
Yeah. So I just there are and and there we can have conversations about like why would you even need to do that? Is it like why you
Yeah.
have to whatever. So it would to me be interesting to see, particularly since my background is in theater and theater performance and performance art. It would be interesting for me to see folks pushing those boundaries a little bit. Honestly, what I would love to see are folks mixing it up in terms of breaking, I mean, what a stupid word, silos, breaking down those silos, right? Like, technically, we don't have companies, artistic companies
Uh-huh.
in Fort Wayne, right? I mean, not
Not
formally.
not really. If anything, there's like collectives,
Right.
which is I guess
And
like
so,
an
what is
informal
to prohibit
version of
individuals
that.
from, working from house to house to house?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Except that's kind of how it is. And then
Yeah.
if you commit to that house, you're committing to doing a certain kind of work. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just feel that if you're gonna serve a full artistic community, it is maybe in the best interest to think about a wider variety
Yeah.
of pieces. There's a lot of modern stuff dealing with a lot of the cultural tensions in America, political,
Mm-hmm.
but I think they are inflammatory, and I'm not sure that
Uh-huh.
that we have an environment that can have a thoughtful discourse about,
Yeah.
to
Yeah. Yeah.
digest something.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It's one thing to put things in front of people to shock them or get people talking, a conversation, but if they don't know how to process it,
Yeah. Yeah.
then it can be
Uh-huh.
problematic, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm just not finding the right forums to be able to get access to some of that art. But
I I think like I don't think it's happening. I agree
yeah.
with you that I don't think that that level of like pushing the boundaries
Mm.
of what people like want to see is happening. I think there are creative people that want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I think like there's probably an audience for that too.
I do
But
too.
like I feel maybe it's I don't know what it is that's preventing that from going down. Maybe it's like I
I
don't
think
know.
it's just real easy to, what are they, pigeonhole, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I something
So.
else in the scene I was also talking about with Garrett
Mhm.
and have talked about on the show
Mhm.
before and with like plenty of people here in town is like the niches that exist and how like I don't think it's necessarily out of animosity or like a desire to intentionally exist in a pigeonhole and like there is drama of course that's going to happen but like I feel like that people want to cross over some of those boundaries
Mhm.
and like you were saying about like bringing variety
Mhm.
to what we're doing in town like I think just collaborating with people from different pockets could bring about at least something new,
Right. Right.
something
Yeah.
that we haven't seen done quite
Mhm.
in this way before,
Right.
whatever it is.
Well, and the fact of the matter is, since I know you and I have had these conversations, I've had these conversations with other artists.
Uh,
Like, there are folks who are interested in stepping outside of the comfortable spaces,
uh-huh,
right?
uh-huh.
And putting something out there that maybe isn't even inflammatory. That's just like, I would do you know who Eugene Ionesco is?
I've heard the name before. Yeah,
He's a playwright,
yeah.
and he's a 20th century playwright,
Uh-huh,
and was an absurdist, to
uh-huh.
like
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
the absurdist of all absurdists. And it's one of those things where you watch a show and part of the tension is trying to make it make sense, right? Now, we're living in a world right now where we're constantly looking around and saying, please make it make sense, right?
Yeah.
So when you are watching a production that is genuinely absurd, right? And you are feeling that tension with no relief, right? Because there's nothing to relieve it except more absurdity, right? Like, it's not offensive to anybody, it's not hurting anybody, but I think, unfortunately, I think unfortunately we see art as a commodity, and we
Absolutely.
are consumers.
Yeah.
And when you're looking at, all of the offerings, you're like, do I really want to spend 2 hours of my life watching a show that's ultimately nonsense. Now, for me, yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it allows me to have a a no consequence response, right? Whereas if I'm sitting out in public watching two adults berate each other like they're children, I can't just say, what is happening? What is happening, right? But I can watch two adults berate each other like they're children on stage, right? And it's a different kind of it's
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
thing. It's a different level of engagement. And we're allowed to I think at least for my sake, have that sort of guilt-free voyeurism, right? When
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you watch something like a stage.
Uh-huh.
I don't think art needs to serve a purpose other than just just filling giving humanity an opportunity to experience itself.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I also believe in free theater because the question is like, you're going to get somebody to pay for. No, I'm not going to get someone to pay for that. I'm going to be like, here's a hat. Like,
Uh-huh.
I don't
Uh-huh.
know. You got $1? Got a button? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
But that's another conversation.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I think most goods and services that the public should have access to should be free. Um,
That would be
which
nice.
is
We'd have a
right.
lot more art.
I know, right? Jeez.
And maybe even cleaner bathrooms. Like, let's be honest. We could all use a
Right.
cleaner bathroom.
We can all use a cleaner
The
bathroom.
world would be a
The
better place
world is not a
if we had
Buc-ee's.
cleaner bathrooms.
Yeah, right? Jeez.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like the like our guilt-free response. Like it made me think of the willing suspension of
What?
disbelief
Yep.
and how like we see full-grown humans acting like children in public all the time,
Mhm.
and like I don't know if that's anything new,
No.
but like I tend to doubt it, but like when you're in real life and see something that you're like, how the fuck is this
Mhm.
happening? I cannot believe I am witnessing this with my own two eyes,
Yeah.
that there are humans making these decisions
Yeah.
right now. But then when you like go into view theater and you willingly suspend that
Hmm.
disbelief, like that part of you knows that's like two people I know from the bar
Right. Right.
are reading a
Yeah.
script and have practiced this for 6 to 8 weeks,
Right.
but you can let that go and have that experience of like, what the fuck is going on right now,
Yep.
and like can fully feel that and go through it with them.
Hmm.
And you know there's an end, the curtain is gonna fall,
Hmm.
you're gonna go to Henry's and have a beer.
Right.
And
Right.
but
Yep.
like with that you can like have the experience of going through disbelief.
Hmm.
Like it's almost meditative because you can watch it rise,
Hmm.
and if the show is done well there will be that point of catharsis,
I
and
was just
then
gonna say
you come
catharsis. I
back
was like, you are
to
just pinning it.
where
Yep.
you landed and you realize, oh, I'm on the other side of
Yeah.
this and I'm
Yes.
still intact,
Yes.
and I can still go to Henry's and get a
And
beer.
that cathartic
Yeah.
experience is so important. Like
Yeah.
we can't just be numb to the world
Yeah.
that's happening around
Yeah.
us. Like we have got to be able to respond, but our response, right, can't necessarily be in equal measure to the absurdity that we're watching.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, the ability to think critically about it a little bit,
Uh-huh.
in that sort of like willing suspension of disbelief. Got that fourth wall, right? Sometimes, I guess, depends on the company. It depends on the show. Depends on the company. Don't sit in the front row. So,
Might have to pay extra for that.
so yeah, right. Sometimes. Um,
If it's a really good show.
There's just like so many. Oh man. The life of a dresser. So anyway, yeah. I think there's room for it. While acknowledging that creating art requires the privilege of leisure,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
which the system knows and will make sure that we have as little leisure as possible, right? To commit to what it requires to create art and to enjoy art,
mm-hmm,
which is why we have to keep doing it anyway. At least for my own sake, it's sort of essential. I can't express myself authentically, I think, without some creative outlet. I think a lot of people probably feel that way, whether they make music or, you know, uh, we can't all be multifaceted artists like the Alejandro Soto,
Oh
you
God.
know, what, jack of all trades.
Yeah, master of none.
I know, as I was gonna say, it's supposed to, yeah, it's jack of all trades, master of none.
But I
It's
like
something that's better
Renaissance
than a
man.
master of none or
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah,
there's more to
master,
it. Jack of all trades, master of none is
but a
better
master
by far than a master
of
of
none,
none.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like the blood of the pact is thicker than water of the womb thing.
Oh, uh-huh. You
Have you
got to
heard that
finish the
one?
thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
But then I'm sure someone clever enough could add another
I
stanza
know.
onto that to totally flip it on its head. Context,
Yeah,
context
it
is
is.
everything.
It is. So,
But yeah, like I think, yeah, pushing. I like that how we as artists can push boundaries and and also like show boundaries. I think is really interesting because like I spent a couple of years like I mean honestly like working with psychedelics to like try and break boundaries and like how kind of
past the
uh,
edge.
what if there are no how can I expand myself out to be the size of the universe
Sure.
through a drug-induced stupor?
Sure.
And then I, through all of that, realized boundaries are really fucking important. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't have a line, then it's gonna get crossed and shit's gonna get hairy quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, like, but so many people don't realize that or like don't even, and I'm sure I'm guilty of this, don't even realize what boundaries I have drawn. And so if by going into a theater I notice that I in myself there is something arising that's like, ooh, I don't like that, or ooh, I do like that, or this is frightening,
Uh-huh.
or like, wait, I don't know if I agree with that. That shows me, oh, there's a line here, there's a wall that I've built. And whether I was aware, and a lot of those are subconscious,
I would
like
say like
let's
a
be
bias of
honest, like
sorts.
yeah,
Yeah.
biases or like protection
Yeah.
mechanisms, like art. And I think art has an ability to shine light on those things, like shining light on the darkness, like
Absolutely. And that's why people like safe art.
yeah,
That's why people
yeah,
feel real
yeah,
fluffy about AI art.
yeah,
That's why people will, and I'm trying to, I don't want to call anyone out, but like, that's why people watch The Music Man year after
that's why
year
Wicked
after
is so
year.
popular right now.
I mean, but
Not
really
that Wicked's a
though,
bad show, the songs are
and
good,
don't get me
but it could have
wrong,
been
like
45 minutes
I
shorter.
love my marshmallow fluff. I do.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do.
yeah, it tastes great.
But yeah, like ask me how many times I've seen the Barbie movie. Like just, but like it's there's nothing wrong with comfort food, but
Yeah,
it does not it doesn't make you
yeah,
and sometimes I feel art, well, not sometimes. I am the kind of person that wants a reaction, good, bad. Otherwise,
yeah, yeah,
what's the point? Like
yeah.
you got to reevaluate your position on something. Otherwise, you've not really encountered anything, you know. Uh, but that's just how I experience
Yeah.
art.
But a lot of that I think is like people just want to feel good and just get a pat on the back and a sucker when they're done with it
Right?
to lick on the way home. And like
Yeah.
I have I'm guilty of that as well. So I'm only pointing this out because I
Yeah.
know from experience.
Yeah.
But like that gets old. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest. Like
Yeah.
and it doesn't actually like further my understanding or like get me to yeah like
And
look at things. It doesn't make
yeah.
me actually feel anything.
And for me,
It's
it
just like
makes
a
me
nice
it's like
it's a pat on the
right.
back
It
and
gives
like
me
come
an
on.
itch where I'm like, there's got to be something more.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and I I like to say all our faves are problematic. I do believe that, and I will say, without getting too specifically pop culture reference at the moment, there happens to be some really problematic information coming out about yet another celebrity that a lot of people
Yeah.
have sort of put on a pedestal. This, it happens. It happens. So we don't even need to name names, right? We
Yeah.
can just
Yeah.
pick anyone who you've put on a pedestal and has fallen.
They
Like,
got a million
yeah,
skeletons in their
yeah.
closet, especially if
Like,
they're from Los Angeles.
right, right.
Just-
And so like and I'm not gonna excuse abuse
yeah.
and violence and things like that. However, um I do believe that it takes the ability to think outside of the comfortable spaces to be able to create something that will make folks react. And I mean, I can even like, outside of like literature or theater or, film, whatever, like I can remember seeing oh shoot, and now I'm not going to be able to remember the name of the artist. Um do you know what I'm talking about? The sculpture that's the spoon with the cherry on it.
I
I
don't think so.
think it starts with a K. I think his last name starts with K. In any case, it's essentially absurdist sculpture. Now, how I can love absurdist theater and art, and then see something like this and be like, I don't get it. I don't know. I'm gonna blame it partly on being like a teenager, early 20s, but I just couldn't quite figure. I thought there had to be a point, right?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, this is stupid. Why is he putting a bunch of pool balls, giant pool balls on the floor and calling this art? Or some people might look at a Jackson Pollock painting, right? And be like, yeah, I threw a bunch of paint at a canvas. Like my 2-year-old can do that. You know what? Yeah, they can. But when you put it on the wall, what response will it evoke, right? Like, and so my fascination is with the art as its own independent being. Um, I know that art is created, but I think that once you create something and put it out there, you no longer are in control of the life that it takes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I just feel that it is important to give folks new experiences to touch on, to relate to connect with, so that maybe there's a narrative that's never occurred to them could be possible, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you see this story or a character, and you're like, oh, like that, like it made me uncomfortable to think about somebody being in those circumstances and just like living their life. And so when you get in your real life and you see someone in those circumstances, you might really think about it, right? Like, I don't know. Um, I tend to, I tend to be an overthinker. I'm a creative overthinker. So, um, but yeah, I do enjoy art, but I also like to let it be what it is, independent of the folks who create it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, and that's like the separating the art from the artist thing. I think I think that's
but if you're just doing cookie cutter, cookie cutter,
good.
cookie cutter, cookie cutter, right?
Uh-huh.
Then you're just doing mass produced art, and that's
Yeah.
garbage,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Even a problematic person can make interesting art. They're not a cookie cutter.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
might be terrible cookies,
Uh-huh.
but
Uh-huh.
you
Uh-huh.
know, uh,
Yeah. Yeah. I saw the Bob Dylan movie over the weekend
ooh,
and it was really good.
what's it?
And yeah, there was one scene where I don't think I'm giving anything away by sharing this, but it's like Bob Dylan in Joan Baez's apartment in the middle of the night or something, or she just says to him, "Bob, you're kind of an asshole." Like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Like, I mean, if you look at it, like,
yeah,
yeah, this dude was
yeah.
an asshole,
And
and he made some of the best music in the last like century of American
Pablo
art.
Picasso,
Total dick.
raging asshole.
Yeah.
Like Guernica,
Uh,
profoundly beautiful piece of
uh-huh,
art.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
what? But
It's
yeah.
it's one of it's I mean it's one of the weird things about humanity. Like sometimes
Mhm.
from a real pit of darkness. You got Diamond.
We're
It's crazy.
multi-dimensional.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be so sad if we were just one thing all the time?
Yeah, it's
Like,
it'd be awful.
yeah,
Like it'd be terrible.
yeah,
Like and I don't think it would fix anything.
no.
Like I've talked about this on the show before, this episode of Fairly Odd Parents. Do you know that show,
Uh-huh.
the Nickelodeon
Yeah.
cartoon? It was this episode where Timmy wished that everybody was gray blobs because like the jocks and like the hot popular
Uh-huh.
girls were making fun of him for having buck teeth and
Uh-huh.
wearing a pink hat.
Uh-huh.
And so he wishes for everybody to be gray blobs so that everyone looks exactly the
Indistinguishable.
same,
Uh-huh.
so that no one will have any reason to put anybody
Right.
down. And he does that, and then the jocks and the popular hot girls are talking about how they're the grayest and the blobbiest.
The blobbiest.
And he's like, and then the awesome thing that the writers did was that then Cosmo and Wanda couldn't find Timmy
Oh,
for him to unwish
uh,
it and
uh,
turn him back, so he like found some chewing gum and chewed a bunch of chewing gum and turned it into his pink hat, and
uh,
everyone starts making fun of him for like having
being
pink,
different.
and like a
Uh,
mob almost starts, and then like they're able to find him because he's sticking out in
yeah.
the crowd of gray
Yeah.
blobs, and
Right.
that he wishes that everyone be back to the way
He
they were.
realized, yeah.
And then the hot girls are back to talking about how pretty their blonde hair is, and the jocks are back to bouncing him like a basketball down the hallway, and
Yeah.
all the pretty girls ignore him.
Yeah.
And but
So,
the point in there of like, it's we're dealing with something that is not at the surface level.
mhm.
Like it manifest, like these things manifest as, oh, I'm more popular than you, I have more money, than this person, I have a nice car, like,
Uh-huh.
but that I don't think is like what is actually going on to cause the the craziness that we're all perceiving on the street
Yeah.
in disbelief,
Yeah.
like, and
Yeah.
so
No, no.
like
People, it's so
focusing.
weird, isn't it? How folks seem to be, they're insisting on some sort of homogenization, but at the same time, if you tell someone that they have to change something, it's, it's like, I don't know, it's offensive to, to say, you really should think about saying, things about people like in public like that. Like, um, and yet the expectation is that we're all sort of, I remember just, I'm trying to remember, we did this production of Taming of the Shrew, and the one of the visuals, I know this is random, was that Kate was the one, if you imagine like all the nails on a board have been hammered down, right?
Uh-huh,
Kate is
uh-huh.
the one that stands up,
Mm,
and you can't force her to not stand out.
uh-huh,
Like,
uh-huh,
she's
uh-huh.
just, that's just how she is, right?
Mhm,
And so
mhm.
and so
Oh,
for
that's
her,
cool.
right? So for her, speaking her mind is an essential part of who she is, right?
Uh-huh.
It's not about it's not about making anyone happy.
Yeah,
It's about
yeah,
not sacrificing her authenticity.
yeah.
And it was a pretty interesting take. Uh, I thought.
Was that the production at First Pres
Actually, no.
that went
This was
down,
taming. This was
or
no. This was Burning Coal Theater
oh, cool.
production. Burning Coal Theater's production of Taming of the Shrew, Raleigh, North Carolina. I don't remember what year.
Yeah,
Sometime in the past 25 years.
yeah, I saw
Um,
that. I think it was like 2018 or 2019
at
here
First
in
Pres,
town, and it was
Taming
the
of the
first
Shrew.
time
Who
I'd
played
seen
Kate?
that show. Haley Bant did.
See, and that's what I was gonna ask because I think, because I was in
Because she
Hamlet
was like,
with
that's the
Haley.
lead character, right?
Yeah. And
Okay. I
and
don't
I think I
remember all
remember
the
seeing
names.
newspaper clippings in First
Yeah,
Pres, in
yeah.
like the dressing room of when she was in that
Uh-huh,
production. Haley,
uh-huh.
she was good. I can see her play in that role
Uh-huh.
well.
Yeah, it
Um,
was it was interesting. I'd never seen it before, and
oh
so like
really?
just that whole story, and they took some like different twists on it that like like her big um monologue at the end of her like kind of like submitting
Yeah, if you'll
to
have me.
him.
Yeah.
She like they like made it
Uh,
and like completely sarcastic,
sure.
and it was just like all tongue in cheek. And I'm sure that's been done before. Like, let's be real, this show's been around for 500 years. Probably someone
And
is.
Shakespeare stole it from someone. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
not even Elvis was original at stealing all of his shit. Not
Carol.
even that was original. But like, yeah, that it maybe in that is like another good point that like there and I do this in my acoustic music, like playing folk songs and like I mean playing Bob Dylan songs. He's not even dead. So like, or is he?
No.
But like that taking what has been laid down and then like trying to do it in a new way, or at least like adding
Mhm.
something to the conversation.
Right.
Like that's and maybe
It should
the
not just be regurgitation.
marshmallow fluff art is not doing that. It's
Right.
not adding anything new to the conversation or pushing forward anything that we're already working on.
Right.
Like
It can be
it's a
visually
feel
very
good
nice. It can be,
distraction.
yeah, it can be very pretty to look at.
Yeah, yeah.
Special effects,
Uh-huh.
CGI,
Yeah. Those
you know,
Marvel movies look so fucking cool,
right?
man. Like
Right?
but
But
I
yeah,
don't know. I feel like my brain is rotting after I get out of like most of
sometimes
those.
sometimes.
Like there's some
And
good
again,
ones that tell good
I
stories,
don't
but
want any like please I don't want like well again, you know me. Don't get it twisted, okay? My one true love is Jim Henson. Okay.
yeah.
So William Shakespeare is you know, he's enchanting in his own way, but yeah, no,
Nobody stands up with
um
him.
you know, I like to push against the concept of art as being elite. I feel
Yeah,
that it should
yeah.
be accessible. I mean, truly, if you have understanding of Shakespeare's art, it was written for the groundlings. It was written for the, you know, the hoi polloi, the, you know, the common people.
The
And
misfit
so
toys.
that's right. That's right. All the misfits,
The freaks and
the
weirdos who can get
freaks
a
and
joke.
queers. That's right. So, but, but yeah, so I do really enjoy the sort of whimsy and create and
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
creativity. Um, but I also appreciate uh, an attempt at thoughtful dialogue through art
Hmm.
because I think it can be very powerful.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. And like, but also in that, there is that fact that art doesn't have to have a purpose.
right?
Like, I mean, just like sometimes just getting together for a dance party
Yes,
is like the valid purpose. And I mean, oftentimes that to me feels incredibly subversive
yes,
to the status quo and
right.
like, what Ticketmaster wants us
Express
to
your
be spending
joy.
our
Yeah.
money on, like just putting on a dance party in
Uh
my
huh.
friend's basement
Right.
on a Saturday night and inviting people to hang out for free
Yeah.
while we just sip on juice and
Right.
year-old wine.
Right. Homemade bread. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, like
So
that. I don't know. So, I was talking with a friend of mine, and I was like, "Yeah, this is how we protest." And she was
it's
like, "Huh?
true.
What? What?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, putting on dance parties. This is how we. This is the fight. This is how I fight the war. Is I take off
With
my
joy.
shoes and get
Right.
jiggy."
Right. Militant joy.
Yeah, and I don't. It sometimes like I for myself I have to try and keep it that simple,
Yeah.
like because like you I can overthink, and like I mean shit, last night when I couldn't sleep at the witching hour of 3:33
Mm.
in the morning, I was thinking about trees, and like the some philosophical thing came to my mind, and then I ended up actually writing some maybe good lyrics. I don't know,
Okay.
I'll have to go back over them. But I I didn't some that isn't necessary. Like I can get caught in thinking that art needs to be grandiose,
Mm.
like it needs to be, on a pedestal,
Hmm.
or at least worthy of pedestalization,
Yeah.
and that ends up stifling my creativity more often
Well,
than
and
not, and
as we've
just getting
already
back to simplicity.
as we learned on the train, you put it on a pedestal, you will be disappointed. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
I'm a firm
Yeah,
believer that, that at least good performance art, if it's a good script, you should be able to have people dressed in black with
yeah,
a folio, preferably
yeah.
memorized, but um,
We
right?
got a lot of short form
Like good
content
material
these
is good
days.
material,
Yeah,
right? Good
yeah,
performance
yeah,
is good performance.
yeah,
You don't need bells and whistles and
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
Now, uh, do those elements sometimes make it fun and help the that willing suspension of disbelief? Absolutely, but it's not necessarily if
Yeah.
not necessary if the folks have come to engage in it in that way, right?
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, so I think storytelling can be so powerful, and there are a lot of ways that and I will admit, as we're doing this podcast, I'm not a podcast consumer. I don't listen to a lot of I don't make time to listen to a lot of those kinds of things. I used to,
Mhm.
when I would commute, I remember in New York, one of their public radio would have a good storytelling
Cool.
program that I would listen to, but just I don't know. I don't know. I just haven't found it. I tried to listen to the one like who shat at our wedding or who shit on the floor at our wedding.
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
Uh
I think most of them suck,
yeah, I
honestly.
just
Like,
and
it,
so yeah,
I
like
mean,
I
they're
would
they're
rather
commodities a
I would
lot of the
rather
time.
like
Yeah,
what we're doing have a
yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
So I'm not sure how individuals might be connecting with that
Uh
form
huh.
of.
Uh huh.
I mean, it is entertainment. It's
Mhm.
media
Mhm.
entertainment, um, and how they may be experiencing what's happening in the world through that form of media. Um, I know that news media has changed so much, so much.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna villainize the internet. It's bigger than we
Uh
are
huh.
now, so there's no point.
Yeah.
Um,
It's not
and the
going
robot
away.
and the robots are listening. So, um, oh, sorry. Um, so yeah, I definitely think that the best way for us to, I guess, to stay engaged in art is just to keep making it, right?
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
um, and hope that there's still opportunities for us to independently produce it, like
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
you're able to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so and
It,
so far, I haven't seen too much effort or attempt to silence our artists and writers and poets
mhm.
in this country uh, yet,
Uh
the
huh. Uh
way
huh.
that it has in the past
Yeah.
sometimes,
Yeah.
and the way that we are seeing happen globally
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
their voices and lives being taken.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Journalists are
God,
in a
I can't. Yeah,
rough line
who would? I
right
mean,
now.
honestly,
Crazy.
who would have thought? Again, like 25 years ago, ask me, two of the most dangerous jobs: journalist and school teacher.
Yeah. For real.
Like,
Yeah. It's
I,
ridiculous.
yeah.
Oh
Tell me how
yeah.
that's not an absurd reality,
It
right?
truly is. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, but there are people out there doing the work, and I think you're right. I think there is an audience out there for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Um,
When you mentioned something about authenticity, like, and that being very important in this, like, and I agree, like, and that's what I'm trying to go for. Like, we before we started recording, I told you that I don't cut anything
mhm.
out. Like, I want this to be like a raw, authentic experience of like two people just shooting the shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, but that is, I mean, in my opinion, a very rare thing. Like, and I just heard this described like the other day, but I think it's very accurate that like at any given time, the number of people that are actually doing what they want to
Mm.
do and are doing it like unabashedly, like with full force, don't give a shit about the criticism, like believe in what they're doing and know that it is like what they're here to do. Like that's what, like there might be a couple people in this town doing it if we're lucky. Like, and
Well,
so
and
like,
I
and
think that I mean, I don't know. I will add the disclaimer to folks that I'm pushing the 50-year mark here soon. So I'm easily a generation older than my dear Alejandro here. So, but I believe that both of our generations were told that you can do what makes you happy. Just do what makes
yeah.
you happy, and the success will follow, right? But again, we don't live in a society that allows for the fact that not everyone has privilege. And yes, you can do anything you want. I remember being young. They were like, you can do anything you want. I was like, I'm going to get an internship with the Jim Henson Company in New York City. And this was at the mid 90s, end of the 90s. And as I was looking through all the materials and everything, yes, I could do this. I've got the stuff. So it was an internship, unpaid. You had to sustain yourself in New York City to do the internship, and I was like, I, I can't. Like I can't. And folks still find that an obstacle. Unfortunately, now again, because of some of the ways that systems are failing kids, they can't even get to that level of opportunity, right? Like, there's so many obstacles in the way to achieving that authenticity. So you can tell people, be yourself, do what you love. Is it's not gonna pay the bills.
And
Like,
sometimes it's gonna fucking suck.
it's
Let's be
really
honest.
yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
doing this, like all the back end work that goes into us sitting down here for an hour
Right?
to have a conversation that I'm sure some
Absolutely.
people are gonna listen to. Let's
Yeah.
be honest. But like, there's
Yeah.
I was up for 2 hours in the middle of the night last night. I got to show up to make this happen,
Yeah.
like, because this is what I want to do.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think like that message we got told that like, oh, if you follow your dreams and do your passion, you'll never work a day in your life. Fucking bullshit.
Yeah or
We got
no.
lied to.
Yeah.
They lied to
Yeah.
us.
Maybe it's just
Probably
the
to try-
fields maybe it's just the fields that we chose. I don't know. But
maybe, but like, there's
you know, it's hard.
yeah, it
It's
is,
hard.
and it's doable.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I think of what Bob Marley said, and this is maybe putting myself on a pedestal to try and say I'm anywhere in the same realm as what Bob Marley was working on. But like, I mean, he said the people trying to make this world a worse place aren't taking a day off, so neither can I.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
if you want to,
They're in it for themselves.
yeah, and I'm trying to put something good out into the
Yeah.
world. And so, when you are short on sleep, you show up,
Right.
you get your mushroom fortified energy drink.
The
from
show
the
must
health
go
food shop,
on.
and exactly. And like, I don't know, that I find that is, the alternative is getting a job down at Lincoln Life, the building I look at out of my selling insurance. And like, it's funny, I look at that building out of my living room window every day, and like, if I wanted to land a 401k, I would have gone in there.
Oh my Lord.
But like,
Yeah.
I would have fucking killed myself. Who knows if I would have even made it this long,
Yeah.
being that goddamn miserable. Like,
Yeah.
and so I like made the decision, and people said to me like, you should get a job. I'm like, no, fuck that.
Right.
Bullshit. That sounds like
Right.
a terrible way to live my life. I'm gonna die one day.
Although,
I
will-
don't want to land on my deathbed and be like, I sold a lot of insurance. That really was fulfilling.
I will
Like,
say,
and for
though-
some people maybe it is. We need a variety of people. So I don't
We
want
do
to.
need a
I'm
variety
not
of
trying to be a
people.
hater on the
No,
people
no.
who are selling insurance. But
And
like,
I think you're fortunate in that, I mean, I happen to think that your family encouraged cultural experiences as you were growing up. Not everybody's does.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So again, things like music may seem frivolous to a family who wants their kid to play baseball, right? Even if they really like playing violin, right?
yeah.
So because you can get a baseball scholarship,
A
right?
lot easier than
Yep.
a rock and roll guitar scholarship.
Yep. I know one very talented young person who got a trumpet scholarship
Yeah.
to the University of Louisville. He's a cardinal.
Nice.
And he's very talented, but that's the only person I've ever known
Yeah,
who's gotten
yeah.
unless they're going to like Berkeley school or something like that. But yes, I've known lots of golf scholarships.
Yeah.
Known some tennis scholarships.
Yeah, there's way more people going into football and
Oh
basketball
my lord!
than
I mean, do it.
liberal arts.
Do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Do it if you can do it. But yeah, I don't know.
But then it takes all kinds. Like
That's right.
yeah.
One of the wisest men I've ever met once said, "Not everything is for everybody," and it remains true for almost everything. But I definitely am a big believer in doing what makes your heart happy. And you know, if what you love more than anything is swimming and beating your own personal record every time you do it, that's awesome. Do it. You know, like cool, but maybe just be okay with the fact that when you're 50 years old, you might have to be like a tax adjuster who also swims, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
or
Well, it's balance. You know,
yeah.
finding a balance in life, and like plenty of those people who are making the marshmallow fluff art do not have a beneficial life balance. Like, I mean, talking with Garrett, this obviously came up. We're two musicians, but like I said that in the commodification of art over the last 50 years, I think the people that have taken the brunt end of that have been the artists. Like, you know, they're the ones that are who are out touring, who are going and putting on are there performing all those shows.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm sure you remember like the writers' strikes, the actors' strikes.
Yeah.
I definitely have friends who've participated in those, and it really is hard to get compensated for your work because there is so much, you know, you get the headshots, you got to print them, you got to do resumes, you got to do all that. Like, there's a lot that goes on.
Yeah.
So,
that's part of why I left the theater world.
Yeah.
Like I spent a year at the PFW theater department, and they were interviewing people to be the new chair of the department, and the lady who ended up becoming the chair, everybody from the department was like there interviewing her or something, and she told a story about how in New York City, if you show up to an audition with pleated pants and they don't like pleated pants, they'll tell you to leave, like just because you got the wrong pants, and like, I don't know, maybe it's because I was a punk rocker, but I was like, fuck you. If I have to wear the right kind of pants to work for you, fuck off.
Yeah.
You don't get my art. And so I dropped out.
That's funny. You don't get my art.
And I ended up doing cooler stuff with my time.
Funny. It's kind of true though.
And yeah, I don't know. It seemed like
it can be superficial.
And I mean, part of it was like, oh, that just seems like I don't want that level of stress, man. And like, just like I remember the moment I decided to drop out of college studying theater was when I saw, and maybe I've told you about this before, but I saw a commercial for a touring production of Pippin while I was up late at my grandparents' house for Christmas, and I saw all of them like in the body suits. It might have been like, it was almost like Cirque du Soleil, and they were like doing cartwheels and somersaults across the stage, and I thought, if I was that person, I would be miserable. Oh my God. I'd just feel like a marionette being pulled by strings. I was like, nope. Can't do it.
Oh my God.
I am not selling my soul.
One of my favorite silly little clips is in the movie Moana, Hey Hey, the chicken. The voice, I am kind of fascinated by voice acting. Hey Hey is played by Alan Tudyk, and there's a clip of him like, bark, 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 and then he's like, I went to Juilliard. And you're just like, Yep, you sure did, buddy. And I love Alan Tudyk. He's fantastic. But like, it's
I
just
did all that
you're
to
right.
make chicken sounds as
Every
after
time you
food.
see someone in a mascot costume, you're like, oh yeah, they got their BFA. Like, it's just, yep. All those infomercials, they auditioned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh
and
yeah, they
like
did.
it's just I don't know,
And they called their friends and told them when they got the gig,
yeah,
right?
yeah, like I don't know,
I know.
it,
I know. I
it
know.
just like I was
Yeah.
so
I just,
beside
I
myself.
just like I said, I just answered phones and typed during the day and
Yeah,
then did
yeah,
my other stuff at night. But
yeah, yeah.
it actually was not until I moved here and worked at the Civic that I could consider myself a quote professional, because it was the first time
Mm.
I was like contracted and paid
Uh-huh, uh-huh,
for a seat,
uh-huh.
like otherwise it was just sort of gig by gig, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um
yeah, yeah,
well, I mean, yeah. So Fringe is a little different. You get
yeah.
like percentages,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
um but yeah. And yeah, I realized I was like, "Oh, like this is really keeping me busy and it's letting me create, but it is not the kind of production I can see myself doing long term."
Hmm. Hmm.
And so yeah,
Yeah,
I just wasn't able to sustain it. Um, but they're getting a whole new, I'm excited to see what they're doing at the Arts United now.
yeah,
Yeah, they're like revamping the whole thing.
yeah. I hope I can get some info on that. I've got the I think she's the communications director for the Arts United Center,
Okay.
scheduled to be on the show in a couple of weeks. So hopefully I can get
Nice.
some info
Yeah, well, because
on
Arts
that.
United is the ballet, it's the
Yeah,
museum,
yeah,
it's the whole
yeah.
that whole
They're on the
section.
Arts Lab
Yep, yep,
across the street.
yep.
Yeah, where
So,
we did Faustus, the show
mm-hmm,
we mentioned at the
mm-hmm.
beginning. That was so cool. That was still like the most like rewarding creative process I've ever been a part of.
Yeah,
Like I still don't think I have topped that. Like in terms of like an entire like like the energy we put into it,
yeah.
everybody
It
was
was a
like
good
putting
ensemble.
100%
Yeah.
into that, and like there were plenty of moments it sucked.
Wouldn't say
I would. I did. I stand by what
that.
I said. Like we lost some health and wellness in putting on that
I
show.
do remember a couple of
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it
but
was a show about a dude that sells his soul to the devil. I think we
you
legitimately
know
like
what?
invoked some
My
spirits.
favorite
I think Chase actually did some
ah, one of
incantations
my
on the
favorite
in
things from that
preparation. I know I did.
is one of my nephews drew a picture of Faustus, of Chase as Faustus,
No
and
way.
he drew green stink lines on him because
Oh
he
my
was like,
god.
you can just tell he's stinky. I was just like, that's amazing. Because we really were just going for that, like, dude that's never
Yeah,
left his room kind
yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
So,
By the end of the show, he wasn't wearing pants.
oh, there was a lot going on at the end of that show.
Great.
Yeah, yeah.
That was so good.
And still, I remember I still remember just sitting in the rehearsal room thinking, oh, you're cute. That's cute. You go ahead and do that to that mannequin. That's fine. Like,
we,
Helen of
I'm
Troy.
kind of surprised we got away with as much as we did.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
yeah,
There's nothing in that production that
yeah.
should have been. I mean, uh,
But I mean,
there was nothing
honestly,
questionable in
not
that
like it was. We
production. It was
advertised that the nature of the content, like everybody knew, like. But I mean, I don't know. There were some places where I was pushing the envelope because that was my job. That's what I was there to do. That
That's
was my
exactly right.
understanding of the job
Yes.
description
Yep.
is push
To
people's buttons.
create unease.
Yeah, and there I remember when we came out at the end of the show, there were some nights where it was clear unease in
Hmm.
that room, and
Yeah.
I mean, all the entire cast was just grinning from
Yeah.
ear to ear
Yeah.
because we knew we just did something special.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yep. No, it's good.
Yeah,
Good. We love
yeah.
it.
We need more of that. We need
Yeah.
more of that kind of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So it feeds the soul.
It does, and there's room, and I feel like there's room for all sorts of artists to collaborate when you make that kind of work, or when you
Yeah.
make that kind of
Yeah.
art. There you can, you've got your charge artists, the people who design the surroundings, the set, and
Yeah.
like I said, you don't
Yeah.
have to have fancy costumes. I mean, you can if it's in your
Hmm.
budget, right?
Hmm.
But like, I just I understand that money is such an obstacle. It's an obstacle to people participating in art as consumers, and money is certainly an obstacle toward companies trying to produce. One of the best models that I ever saw for a production, it was a devised production called Apotheosis, that we did at the Capitol Fringe Festival one year. Devised production means we went in, each actor had a sort of character arc, but none of us were sure how they were going to get there
Wow.
with each other.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And these were, apotheosis is a word that's, I believe, is like the becoming of, or the revealing of, or, so it was sort of like breakthrough
Uh-huh.
moment.
Uh-huh.
Each of them would experience a sort of apotheosis breakthrough moment in this thing. So we didn't have a script, so we didn't have to pay rights for anything.
Uh-huh.
Nice. It was during Fringe, so we didn't have to pay for a space, because they're sort of just moved us from place to place. They did a Kickstarter,
Mm-hmm.
um, and said at the beginning, we believe it is important for artists to be compensated for their work. We intend to create a piece of devised art, but if we can't compensate the artists for their work, we don't feel like it's fair, especially since Fringe will be asking people to pay money to come see the show. Um, and so they did. They put together a Kickstarter, and they basically said, like, this is how much we're going to pay this person. This is how much we need for lights, like whatever. And they raised the money bit by bit. I've seen
Nice.
other companies do it, like sponsor this actor for the show.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Um,
Uh-huh.
and then once they got their Kickstarter money up
Mhm.
front, then they could be like, okay, let's go. And there were no sweat, no
Yeah.
worries,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
taken
That's
care of
awesome.
all up
Yeah.
front. And I'm not sure, obviously, I'm not an artistic director. And I'm not sure how the back end production models work for all the companies in Fort Wayne, but I definitely think there is space for independent artists to maybe
Yeah.
try to
Yeah.
collaborate, and maybe, pool resources. I know, there are groups of storytellers, there are groups of burlesque performers,
Yeah. Yeah.
there are all kinds of artists, and I don't see any reason why not having um a guaranteed, like, monetary, uh
Mhm. Mhm.
has to keep that from happening. You can do it up
Yeah.
front, or, like I said, I have worked with companies that do the pay what you can or pay what you will model, and I guarantee you that if you don't put down a ticket price, for every person who doesn't pay anything, someone will pay twice as much as you would expect,
Mhm. Mhm.
and you will break
Yeah.
even.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's success.
That's right. That's right. Like,
Yeah. If you
I
can
don't
do it
know.
again next time,
Right.
that's success.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that there's just been a lot of associations made with art as being something that only privileged people can access or create,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I don't think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
I think that it's essential. I think
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
that people have been doing it for a very long time because we have to.
Yeah.
It's the only way we. Well, say for me, it's how I cope, right?
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm. Yeah.
this world makes no sense, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like, now I'm not a nihilist, right? But
Mhm.
um
If you think about it too much, your head just goes spinning. It eventually pops up to the ceiling like a
uh,
rock'em
yeah,
sock'em
I know, right? I'm
robot.
married to a philosopher, so I really don't need to start doing the deep dive on all that. But what is meaning? Oh,
Uh,
so
yeah,
but
that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
I don't know. I think art is powerful. Um And
Yeah.
so I like to engage in the art that other people make.
Mhm, mhm.
It gets me an experience that I can't create myself.
Yeah.
And whether that's, just ecstatically dancing, right? Or, throwing some paint at a canvas,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, writing,
Do.
writing bad poetry, man, drink some whiskey, write some sad bastard poetry.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh yeah, it feels good.
I've made one painting in my time that I could call a painting.
Hmm.
And I like had a canvas, I painted it black, actually with leftover paint from Faustus, and like was just like waiting on it. And one day it was like a pretty summer afternoon and I had a tube of white paint that I
Mm.
got from my grandma. And so I set the black canvas out in the yard, grabbed that tube of white paint, made myself a cocktail, took off my
Out of
shirt,
white paint.
and just like squeezed that
Oh.
white paint out onto the canvas, just using the tube as the
Uh-huh.
brush. Like didn't even use a brush. And I'm just like I like had my headphones in. I was probably listening to ACDC or 39 Special
Yeah.
while I was listening while I was doing it and like sipping my whiskey and like it was a fucking awesome moment. I've got that memory for the rest of my life, and that painting is hanging on the wall in my living room right
Absolutely.
now. And
Yeah.
like that's what art is about for me. It's
Mhm.
like not even like the feeling you get of performing a show for everybody, but just like I think it's actually what's left over after all that
Yeah.
wears off.
Yeah.
It's like what do you have after everybody's gone home? The get the fuck out lights are turned on, the
Hmm.
stage lights are dark, everything's torn down, loaded into the van, and you've got your jacket on and gotta get out the door, otherwise you're gonna get charged for the
Right.
like
Curfew.
what do you got then? That's
Then
that's
you
what
go
if you
have the
got
production
something.
meeting in the parking lot because
Yeah.
we're gonna sit in the car, we're gonna turn on the
Yeah,
heater.
yeah, but I mean, if you still got motivation in the pit of your stomach when you're having the post-production meeting out in the parking lot because you ran out of time, then
Damn
like
it.
that means you did
So
something
many
good.
hours of my life. Production meetings. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's
we've
okay.
got some trauma from
I'll never get them back. I don't
that.
want them back. It's fine. No, it's true. It's the process. It's
Yeah, yeah.
definitely I've what's funny is I think since I've become more casual with art, I've become a process person. I have always been a very efficient person. If I have something that I need to get done and I have a deadline and I have my materials, I try to figure out the most efficient way to get from point A to point B in
Uh-huh.
the time.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and I mean, obviously throw some glitter at it, right? Like zhuzh it up, but we got work to do. Um, but lately I've been doing projects with no purpose, right? Just sort of, and if I mess up, I don't fix it.
Mm,
I just
mhm,
use
mhm,
it as a
mhm,
way to
mhm.
learn how to do it better next time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm being more patient with myself as an artist, I think, and it's helpful because the quote right way isn't necessarily art,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
right?
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
like isn't that they talk about like Zen, um the how the person who I'm trying to remember something about a stone hammer and the man who is so zen that creating the stone hammer is just like it's not even it's not work, it's just like it's something that happens because he's hammering or I don't
Mhm,
know.
mhm,
um and it's because he just keeps doing it, like it gets its
mhm,
shape
mhm,
because he
mhm.
just keeps doing it, and doesn't keep starting over. And I've given myself permission to like fuck it up and let it be okay, fucked up, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
be like, okay, well, like let's make this work. Let's just see
Uh-huh,
if we can
uh-huh.
make this work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it may not turn out the way I had imagined, but I mean, like I said, next, then I'll be like, okay, next time I need to like install this piece first, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
So giving myself permission to play a little more, which I think
Yeah.
is important. Because like you said, you become dull, right? If you don't play. Um, so,
Yeah, and if everything is a means to an end, like that, I think that's sort of the commodification in a nutshell, right there. Is like, sometimes you just gotta do it because it's what you do. You
right.
swing the hammer because the
Yep.
hammer swings.
Yep.
It's not because like you're looking to make a bunch of money
Right.
selling a house, or
You're doing the task that
whatever.
needs to be done. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
So
that's good, and that's effortlessness. Then it becomes like, I mean, it kind of turns into a flow state of
thank you. Yes,
sorts.
that's why I was trying to connect the zenness of it.
Yeah,
Yes, it
yeah,
becomes effortlessness because you're no longer trying
yeah,
to do it. It's just what you do.
yeah.
Yeah.
One time, I was in a yoga class, and I was kind of like in the thick of it at the time, and I went up to the teacher afterwards, and I was like, "Hey, is there such a thing as effortless effort?" And he goes, "Yes." I was like, "Okay, good. That's all I needed to hear. I'm out of here." And just like in that idea of, and like, I mean, to bring back that doing what you want to do it's going to require force. Like there are times when I have to force myself to
Effortless
edit the
does not mean
episode.
without intention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's also like, I mean, when I'm editing that podcast episode at 11:45 so that I can have it
Right.
posted by midnight to be up in the morning, like there is, I mean, a part of me that just does it. And like it's almost like I just end up going through the motions, but like it's not that.
Is it instinct? You've developed an instinct for it, maybe?
It's almost like more than that. It's just like there isn't an
Intuition
option. It's like this is
and it's not autopilot.
no. It's that's why it's not like going through motions, because like I am
Intending.
intentionally like making these
Thoughtful.
decisions of like how this is gonna appear. And then I also have that thing that you were just talking about, knowing that it's not going to be perfect, when the ums and the pauses and the
Right.
like, oh, that I screwed that up. I
Yeah.
misspelled a guest's name wrong on the episode art one time. Even after he like spelled it for me. I was like, dude, sorry, Phil. I spelled your name wrong. Just let you know before you see it. Like, I'm an idiot, but it's up, so I'm not going to change it.
That's all right. We threw an H on your fashionable Pumas party, pink party poster too.
Oh.
Typo on there, but
Did I have a type? I'm sure there's
a little
plenty.
bit,
Yeah.
a little bit more. It's okay.
okay.
We fixed it. We fixed it.
Wait, you made a poster? You have a poster? Oh, but I think then we had to cancel it. Was it going to be at your place?
No,
Well, let's talk about this off air, because I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I'm talking about your pink party that's here at that's going to be at the Pettit Chapel.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That is where I
Yeah.
know it's. I thought it was going to
Yeah.
be. So okay, we have the right venue.
Yeah.
Now. That's all I wanted to worry about.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
was like,
I got you. Don't worry.
I'm going to show up at the right place, right?
No, because we're doing slice and dice. We're doing our pizza and games on that night, and so
Oh,
slice
okay.
and dice until 8, and then we're gonna move the party
okay,
to pink
perfect.
party.
Okay,
so
cool.
we're gonna get everyone
Perfect.
dressed up.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's gonna be super fun. Yeah. I don't know if this episode's gonna come out before that. I think this episode's gonna come out after that. So
Right
hopefully everybody listening who was at the pink party had
Was
an awesome
at the pink
time.
party, that's right.
Yeah, and listen. I'm gonna get back into announcing what's going on.
Sure.
In my world and in the world of my guests in
Gotta
the show.
sync all that up. Yeah,
I let the ball drop over the last couple months, so now that I'm getting back to it,
it's a whole
Thankfully-
new year, baby.
yeah, I mean, thankfully I'm getting back to it like in the beginning of the year, because once summer hits and like events are more regular, like I can start telling people about that stuff,
Yeah.
in early spring and whatnot, and I want to A purpose of this show, this project, is to spread the word about what's going on in the scene.
Yeah.
That's a weakness I see in our art community, and so
Yeah.
I'm taking steps to fix that,
Right.
or at least do my part in telling people what's going on.
Well, I mean, I think we're lucky in that our community is connected.
Mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
but like you and I were talking about a mutual friend that we both have that you only just met a few weeks
Yeah,
ago that
yeah.
like I've yeah, it's strange how like you'll let yourself go by knowing about someone and your paths just might not intersect. So
Uh-huh,
I
uh-huh.
think creating intentional community is really important.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think it's really important to help sustain our communities,
Yeah.
whether it's artistic community. Like I said, there are a lot of marginalized communities right now that are not going to get the support from the system that they need to thrive. And so, by you producing shows like this that give people an opportunity to listen to what projects people have going on, what connections they've made. I think that lets that lets everyone know that we're all out there.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing our thing.
Yeah.
It might be hard, but we're trying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Uh, yeah, the way might be rough and steep, but we're going it.
uh-huh,
I'm
it's
going it
true,
bullheaded and
right?
stern.
Yep, yep.
So we're over an hour into this, so I won't keep you too much longer. We didn't even get into what you do over at the Brave
Oh,
Alliance.
you want to talk about my profession?
Sure. I mean, I think I want to know more about that. So
Okay,
give us just a real quick
sure.
overview.
I'm sorry. Yes.
It's okay. I
Um,
mean, I'm in no rush, but it's past 8 o'clock, so I don't want to keep you here all night.
I got you. Um, so yes. Although my background is primarily in arts and education, I have always had work outside of those fields. Like I said, primarily because you can't get paid to be a professional artist. So, um, so I have been fortunate for the past 9 months, not quite a year now. I've been the program manager for the Brave Alliance. The Brave Alliance is in downtown Fort Wayne, and it is a resource and community center for young queer adults in Allen County. And we try to provide resources and programming that help folks thrive in their authenticity, I guess. I use the word queer. I feel that I have ownership over the word queer. I know a lot of folks don't. And queer can be used to describe a lot of sexual and gender orientations. So the folks that come into Brave are folks that may be in transition. They may be genderqueer individuals. They may be in same-sex relationships. They may be in relationships with individuals who express gender queerness. Like it's just at this it's 21st century, y'all. We all know somebody gay, right? So however, we in the 21st century have not yet come to a place where we can create a supportive environment for those young people to thrive. And unfortunately, culturally, there can be a lot of obstacles to young folks who are trying to, in a healthy way, express their sexuality and gender. For example, you think, oh, I'm gonna go to the bar. I'm gonna go to the gay bar. Well, what if you're sober? What if you're under 21, right? Like, and some of the behavior in those spaces can be kind of risky. So we intersect with a lot of individuals who are in the harm reduction, addiction recovery, mental wellness. We are able to provide referrals to organizations and individuals that can provide the tangible support. So we don't have any in-house services other than free resources. So if you come to Brave, you are welcome to come by. We have drop-in hours every day, Tuesday through Saturday, noon to 6. And during those drop-in hours, we have you have access to a wardrobe, a library that has all sorts of literature written by queer authors, authors of color, marginalized experiences, banned books. We have other gender affirming resources for folks who are either in transition or looking for resources to do that. Indiana can be a tricky state to navigate, particularly for folks under 18. There are resources available to get therapy and gender affirming medical support. And those are all things that we can help provide at the Brave Space. Beyond that, we essentially are just a community space. So I have, like I said, we have Slice and Dice. Even though you might have already missed the pink party, we will have the Slice and Dice every month. It's a pizza and game night. We do karaoke every month, arts and crafts. We do a movie matinee once a month. We try to keep it family friendly. So most of the entertainment is PG-13, unless you happen to catch me on a day when I've got to watch Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, in which case we'll be mindful of the ping pong ball scene.
I gotta check that out.
Have you not seen it?
No, I know what I'm doing tonight.
Oh yes.
Send that to me.
Okay. Let's just say she has special skills.
I think I got an idea. I hope it's pretty close to my idea.
So yeah. And then beyond that, we have the Transcendence group that meets once a month. That's a peer support group for gender nonconforming and trans individuals 18 and over. And we're right across from the Pride Center. We are not affiliated with the Pride Center in name. We intersect communities a lot. We at Brave tend to provide more activities and resources for younger adults. Again, mostly because not everyone can go out to bars and things like that. And yeah, like if you I'm not kidding. If you need a new pair of shoes, if you are tired of buying your own sanitary items, and just need to come down and get some like deodorant and tampons, like do it. So, I put this on one of our stories, and you've heard me say this, so it's not just something that is important to Brave. It's important to me as an individual, is that to serve a community, you've got to remove obstacles. And there are social obstacles, there are financial obstacles, there are all kinds of reasons why people might not have access to the things they need. For example, I've got a closet full of work clothes, right? Black pants, button-up shirts. And you think, okay, well, I can go to my Goodwill and get that. Cool. Go spend $5 on a pair of black pants. Let me ask you this. If you are a gender nonconforming individual and you go to the store to get the black pants that fit you and that you want to wear, are you going to go in the dressing room? Can you try them on in the dressing room? Right? Do you feel safe? You come to Brave and you can try on anything you want and you take it for free. Right? We get you dressed for your interview. We get you dressed for your serving job. We get you dressed for your formal, and I think, I've got kids who just come in and are like, here, try this on. No, you try this on. No, let me try that on. It's going to look better on me anyway. Right? A change of wardrobe can do wonders for people. I've had individuals come in who, I should say that individuals who come into the Brave Space are asked to sign a safe space agreement, but there is no requirement to show a legal ID. I'm not gonna make you prove anything to anybody. And I have had a member come in before who had been in a compromising situation. and needed a change of clothes. She she needed clean underwear and she needed clean clothes and she wanted to get clean. And I was like, okay, let's do this. Like you pick, and she walked out in boots and a dress, feeling good. And I don't know, I can't address all her specific needs. I know she had a need, and that need was to feel better than she did when she came in. And so we can do that, right? We can do that. And it doesn't have to cost anyone anything, except to just be kind and, let yourself come in, be authentic, say, hey, like, can I just hang out? Like, can I use your Wi-Fi and have some coffee? Like, you know what? Yes. Yes, you can. So yeah, so we try to provide opportunities for folks to connect with organized activities. If you happen to be into retro video games, then come in to join us on Slice and Dice, right? Pizza and games. If you happen to enjoy arts and crafts, come on Arts and Crafts. But I will also tell you that my arts and craft supplies are always freely available. So if one day you're just like, you know what, I just need to like cut up some magazines and get some glitter glue and fuck shit up. Like, okay, we can do that.
Nice. Hell yeah.
So yeah, I try to curate a space that allows individuals to come in and connect with community and to, just not feel the pressure of having to be or do a certain kind of way or thing. Like just yourself, just be yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're down
Cool.
Westbury 534 Westbury.
Oh, heck yeah.
So yeah, if
That's
you
awesome.
start here at East Indy Eclectic and just head west, I reckon you'll hit us. So
Same street.
I was gonna say, yeah.
That's great.
if you hit the hospital, you've gone too far.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been to yoga down there.
Yeah.
I'm a relatively normal looking white dude.
Yeah.
And I felt comfortable in there.
It's great.
It was a good class.
We do. We
Yeah.
have monthly
There's a buddy
free
of mine
yoga.
teaching it.
Yeah, you did know. Yep. So we get a great mix of folks. So yeah.
Yeah,
And some of them have specific needs and some of them don't. And it's not imperative that, that there's a checklist of like stuff you got to do when you come to Brave. Like if nothing else, I encourage folks to just come check it out and see if it's a space you feel comfortable in. And it feels like a place that you could use as a landing pad, or if it feels like a place you could come and enjoy some community, then I absolutely invite you to do that. Or if you don't feel comfortable, or you think, oh, those I'd be a poser. I wouldn't feel comfortable. Like I don't know. Some people feel like you've got to like meet a queer, like pass the queer test. I don't know. My membership was free. I did not have to pass the test.
You don't have to pay any dues.
I did not. I did not. So yeah, like don't be like, I'm not anything enough to it. Or if you're kind, then that's all you got to be.
That's good.
So, but that being said, we do specifically host activities and events for genderqueer folks, to connect with other genderqueer folks. But yeah, yoga, things like that. Like, yeah, just come get bendy for an hour. It's good.
Yeah, I watched a PBS documentary recently about the origins of house music
Oh,
in Chicago. Do
oh.
you know much about this?
I don't know. I just saw a thing with like Madonna dancing with
That's
not house.
Marshmallow
That's
Fluff.
different house.
That's
Okay,
Marshmallow
that's
Fluff.
different house. Okay.
Love Madonna, but that was Marshmallow Fluff.
Yeah. Well, I'm
So,
sure.
I mean, it was-
Yeah.
Yeah, so like electronic house music was started by like the black and gay communities of Chicago in the 80s, and it was like pretty much just exactly what you were just talking about. Like those communities didn't have a place where they could go and wear what they wanted to wear and move the
Yeah.
way they wanted to move
Yeah.
and talk the way they wanted to talk. And so they did that. They
Yeah.
rented out. It's literally called the Warehouse.
Oh,
And this was
nice.
crazy. When it was running in full force, they would open at midnight on Saturday and they would close at noon on Sunday.
Okay.
And that was the party. And
Okay.
they said like people, lived through the other 6 days of the week so they could go down to the warehouse on
Mhm.
Saturday night.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
like that kind of stuff, I think no matter what the group is that needs that space, like when that space exists, it's pretty rad.
Sanctuary is really important. It
Yeah.
really is. And um yeah, I mean, obviously like you know, friendship gets us through, love is what gets us through. Um but I will, again, I'll sound like an old person. There used to be cultural spaces that we just don't hold anymore, for all kinds of reasons. Um, but one of the things I think that we have lost, in the especially internet age, where folks can make connections uh, virtually very easily, even face to face, right? Um, is that like going to the coffee shop bookstore in DuPont Circle in Washington D.C., which DuPont Circle is like the gayest, like it's like the Disneyland, right? It's like the gayest place on earth is DuPont. Um and just, I mean, watching, right? Like it's like that song in Fun Home, Ring of Keys, right? Where like you're looking at all these other people around you, this counter culture, and you don't have the internet to look at these pictures of people uh flaunting their authenticity, right? I mean, god, they're gorgeous. But just, like working queers, or like uh all of the stereotypes, right? All the, all of them that you want to imagine, but like, but it was cultural. You could sit there and you could look around and like be like, okay, like this is kind of the vibe. You could get the vibe. Um and you can't get that virtually. And you can get memes and you can get cultural references, and we can all like watch Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, right? But it's not the same as going to a club or a bar and watching a drag show.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
drag shows are life giving. Like, oh my god, I love a drag queen. Whew. I do. Um and part of that is just, that elation, that connection, that freedom.
Mhm.
And you just can't, yeah, some people just don't feel safe expressing that in the world at large. But, you know, we do a karaoke night, right? And we break out Pink Pony Club, and it's gonna get real gay real quick. Like, so um okay, I should rephrase. When I break out Pink Pony Club, no, it's not in my range. It makes me really sad. No, about the only thing you're guaranteed on a karaoke night from me is something by They Might Be Giants.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
checks out.
Yeah, that tracks, right? Yeah. Yeah. Um so yeah, I just feel like there's no right way, as long as you're being authentic, as long as you're being kind, right?
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And you only you can only get stronger by connecting with community, right? You don't know who might be somebody you need to call, right?
Mhm.
Until you're like, oh yeah, I met that person that, like, I'm trying to think of like the most obscure. Well, actually, I probably shouldn't think of the most obscure thing I've heard at Brave, because that could probably out somebody.
Well, I
Uh,
mean, I'll throw one out there. I met a dude at an art show in this room,
mhm,
Sweetwater dude. Told him I'm like putting on dance parties
mhm,
and like putting on shows. He was like he got really bad tinnitus.
mm,
So he like was getting rid of stuff, had an extra set of speakers he
mm,
didn't need, gave them to me for free.
eh,
And he's like, I just want, just invite me to the
yeah,
stuff that you do and you use them. And they're like super nice JBL speakers with a QSC 300
right,
watt amplifier. Like, I mean, even for being 25, 30 years old, like it's probably a $500 worth of equipment right there.
well, yeah,
That the dude
well,
who
and
I
like,
had a conversation with and like got his number because we thought we were we were both cool
Yeah,
dudes.
decent. Yeah.
Texted me a couple weeks later, gave me my really nice set of speakers that I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
be using at the pink party.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
And
the
like
level
just
of
like
generosity that I've
yeah,
seen from
yeah.
people
Like
has
that
just
kind of
been
but that kind of stuff only happens if there is a space where I can go and talk to another long-haired white
make a real
dude
connection.
about what we like to do on a Thursday
Yeah,
night after getting off work. And
exactly.
we both,
Yeah,
like music and are able to help each other out.
right.
And like and it doesn't need to be anything grandiose or big or crazy. Sometimes just giving a dude some speakers you don't
You find
need
out you have a common
makes a
interest
huge
and you're like, yeah,
difference
you know what? This
and
I
builds
could help you out.
bridges.
Yep.
Yeah, it
Absolutely.
creates mutual support, and that's what we need. That's how we're going to get through these
That's
crazy times
that's
that we
exactly
find
right.
ourselves in.
Yeah. Yeah, we do host mutual aid events and swaps and things like that where we have
Yeah.
more than just our clothing and stuff. We'll every now and then we'll do an event where we'll have like home goods and
Uh-huh.
electronics and stuff like that.
Nice.
Because yes, I definitely think that there are so many of us who recognize that we have at times been in need, right? Um, and that if you just pay it forward, like it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back around.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
got one of my favorite actually, and this to me it touches specifically on the queerness of the brave space, but I think it puts such a human touch on not just the experience that people have in the brave space, but the way that we build community through sort of like making these things available. So, one of the folks who has donated some items to me was a former pageant queen, beauty pageants,
Oh, cool.
tiaras, heels,
Toddlers.
sparkles. Mm-hmm. And
That's
now,
awesome.
this individual no longer wants the wedding dress that he was made to wear.
Hmm.
He no longer wants the formals that he was made to wear to compete in these pageants. So I get the benefit of some incredibly beautiful costume
It's
jewelry
gotta be amazing.
and shoes
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
boots and lovely things that a pageant queen would buy for themselves if they
Uh-huh.
had, right, the means
Yeah.
to do it. Well, you know what? I have these things. So now there is new life in something because a person actively made the decision to like give that to be like, I'm not, these are not mine. I'm not this person anymore. Like, how empowering is that to be able to say like, I'm not going to wear this suit ever again. I will never again wear a necktie in my life, right? Like, that's awesome. You know what? Let me get you a prairie dress. Like, I don't know. It seems like such a superficial thing, clothing. Um, but we express so much of our authenticity, I think, through the way we dress, or choose to dress. Again, if you don't have money, you wear what you wear.
Hmm.
And I mean, if you're a big girl like me, like you've got clothes you've been holding on to as long as they'll fit, right? Like, so we know how it is. But it is nice to go into a space where you know that your community has said, you know what? I want you to have this.
Hmm.
I want
Hmm.
you to have this nice leather coat that you might not have been able to get for yourself.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why should you go out and buy those things?
Hmm. Hmm.
Why should you order it through Amazon
Hmm.
when somebody has already taken the time and
Hmm.
given it freely,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So that's I enjoy those kinds of experiences because I don't think people necessarily take into consideration the life that some of the resources that we are able to provide have had,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Um, and so you could pick up a pair of earrings and like You don't know. You just don't know, right? You might wear them to gay prom. But that might have come from someone's jewelry box when they were a little girl before they uh grew up to be a man,
Yeah.
right?
Well, and that is a reflection on people as
Yeah,
well. Like there is so much more to any person you meet than what you see. Even if
infinitely.
like you end up seeing them a lot.
Hmm.
Like I mean people that I see regularly, like my coworker, like just a coworker. I see, 4 days a week, 8 hours a day,
Hmm.
but there's so much more outside of that
Hmm.
is not that I just am not aware of.
Right.
And so like to I think to at least hold that in mind that there is so much more to everyone else and
Hmm.
like to ourselves than we are able to comprehend, understand, or even just like it's just not possible to know that much about a
Well,
person,
and
nor
it's
I
a
think would we want to.
process. It's
And
totally a process,
and then you can give
coming to know who you
grace
are.
and
Yes.
understanding because this person is doing this thing that I don't agree with or I don't understand
Hmm.
or rubs me the wrong way, but they are so much more than that.
Yeah.
They exist in completely different spheres than this tunnel I'm viewing them through right
Right.
now. And so, yeah, the way you're making your decisions now, I do it differently, but like you're you and
Yeah.
I'm me.
Yeah.
So like and then maybe you like to jam and you play the bass and we know some of the same songs.
Right.
Let's fucking jam, dude. Like
Right. Like, where's the
like let's find our
commonality?
and then
Yeah.
we can appreciate I think
Right.
we can appreciate the differences
Yeah.
more.
What is there? There's a quote I should know. It's like James Baldwin. It's like if as long as your beliefs aren't rooted in my oppression, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we
Mm-hmm.
can.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
definitely think that folks have a lot more in common
Yeah.
than they don't. And
Yeah.
we don't owe transparency to anyone.
Uh-huh.
Nobody has
Uh-huh.
to justify
Yeah.
their experience of anything. They don't need to justify how they define queerness. They don't need to justify how they define transness. They don't need to justify the pronouns that they choose to use. Like I respect you enough to use the name and pronouns you give me to use. Um, and I don't have to know anything beyond that, other than that's what you've asked me to call you,
Mm-hmm.
right? If if people went around calling me Margaret, if after I had said please just call me Maggie, then they would sound like an asshole, right? Like so, like, be mindful. Um, and that can change. Some folks come in, please, they today. This is just they.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Some days, they're feeling butch, and then they're he that day, and that's fine. And I do my best
Mm-hmm.
to adhere. I failed many times today. I will fail many times tomorrow, but um, it is something that I have to continue working on too, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
as we build community, we have to learn and grow together. So yeah.
I
It's
will say that as a white guy named Alejandro, it helps giving people grace. Because I mean,
ah
even Portia here, who's like part Colombian, can't say my name right.
really.
His
Uh,
wife is coaching him on how to properly say my name.
oh
And like,
really?
oh yeah, I mean, and like the old people at the health food shop where I work, there's still a grouchy old lady who calls me Alejandro plenty of the time, and like. I mean, I honestly don't know how much time she's got left on this
Oh,
earth. I don't think it doesn't add
that's
value to my life
to
to correct
curse her
her
for it. Yeah,
on
yeah,
how to say my Hispanic name
yeah.
when she's
Uh,
like white bread as they come.
that's funny
And now I could laugh with her about it. I still am like correcting her on how to say my name
because
and
I
she
think
still
I
says it
remember when we
wrong.
first met that I knew you as Alejandro. And then I think for a little while when we were working, like because I think you were working as a professional artist, it was Alex. for a
Well,
while
that's what I went by when I
at the
was younger.
beginning.
That was like
Okay.
my childhood family
So
name.
maybe I was
And
introduced to you
yeah,
as Alex,
probably,
and
yeah.
then it became Alejandro.
Uh-huh,
And so now
uh-huh.
it would be ridiculous for me to call you Alex.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what? Who? What?
yeah.
No.
I ran into someone just last week who I hadn't seen, like, I mean, or who knew me from before I was going by Alejandro,
Mm-hmm.
and she called me Alex, and I was like,
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
split second, but like then, oh yeah, she like kind of reminded me, oh yeah, that was a different time in my life. Like
Right.
she and I like have this shared experience, and it was just a really interesting moment where I saw we have both gone our separate ways, and now
Mm-hmm.
we're meeting up again,
Mm-hmm.
and we're both different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure of that. And so like her calling me Alex just like pointed out like,
It's
"Oh,
been a minute.
I have changed."
Uh-huh.
But like I am still Alex. Like that is still a part of how I got to where I am today.
Right.
And so like it just I mean it's funny, I chuckled at myself that she
That's
dead named me.
right.
And I mean like
Yeah.
and it's just funny that I even we have that
Yeah.
nomenclature, and that like
Yeah.
that's I say it in jest. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But
No,
like
yeah.
yeah, it's so, and I mean, I'm a man of many names. I've been called Alex, Bill, Shelly, Aesop Fable, Alley Cat. Don't even try and figure it out.
Okay.
Um, Wild Bill Hickok.
What's the bill? What?
I was, my voice teacher said I looked like Wild Bill Hickok.
Oh.
Apparently, he was an old cowboy character or something. He had long hair, and I had long hair,
Oh.
and so he named me Bill.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And
I'm
then
like, that has
my
nothing to
sister,
do with any of your names. Okay.
nothing. My sister
Okay.
was Baby Bill. My dad became Papa Bill. My mom became Mama Bill.
Good
We were the
heavens.
Bills.
Oh, the Bill
Yeah,
family. Family of
yeah. And
Bill.
so I mean, for I have learned that there's not much in a
So,
name,
I mean, yeah, sometimes you
but
can
there
roll
also is
with
so
it.
much in a
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
Like to him, I'm Bill, and like when someone, and still to this day, sometimes if I hear someone go, "Hey, Shelly," like I look over my shoulder, I'm like, wait, no one here has any
Oh.
idea that I have been called Shelly for extended periods
Uh,
of time.
uh-huh.
In college, one of my professors called me Shelly because
Really?
it was from I was in Sweeney Todd, and you
Oh,
know
okay.
there's that line in Pirelli, see the chap with hair like Shelly's, you can tell he's Pirelli's. I
Uh,
was the guy with long hair, so they paraded me to the front of the stage,
Shelley.
and they
Mm-hmm.
showed my long locks. And Leslie Beauchamp, amazing choreographer,
Uh,
could never remember my name,
uh,
and so she would just be like, okay, yeah, Shelly, what's your name? I'm Shelly, come forward.
how
And so we, you
funny.
know, in a show, you don't have
Uh,
time to like remember all these
sure. Yes.
minor
Yes.
people in the
Now, again,
chorus,
right,
and it gave
again,
me a
you know,
nickname for
in the
5 years.
context of a play, assuming the identity of your character's name is different than a gender identity or
I didn't
yeah,
get
or
credit.
name, but
I didn't
yeah.
get credit for that. I was a chorus member. No,
Chorus. I didn't even have
she couldn't
a name.
remember my fucking name. I was the guy with long hair. Still to many, I'm the
Long
guy
hair.
with long hair.
Long hair. Yep. It's just that long hair over there.
It's just, yeah, it's just such a
Funny.
funny, such a trip.
So
But yeah,
yeah, I
you're
can
doing really
expect
good work out here.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
check out what Maggie's doing.
Thank you.
It's yeah, lots of good people, lots of creativity, support for people who need it, and
Yeah.
that's what's up.
I guess I just
That's what's up.
yeah. I guess I just take for granted that the arts community does and has always intersected the queer community in a lot of
Yeah,
ways in
yeah,
a
yeah,
very positive, right?
yeah. Absolutely,
In a very
absolutely.
supportive
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
And so yeah. I suppose that as program manager, a lot of my programming is less STEM based and more creative based. Um, and so yeah, so I encourage folks, like I said, you know, you wanna come down and have some coffee and check your I don't know, check your socials, do it.
yeah, yeah.
We'll be happy to see you.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, where can people find you? Is there anything you want to point people towards?
Sure. Yeah. So the Brave Alliance is located at 534 West Berry Street, downtown Fort Wayne. We're on the block between Fulton and Fairfield, so right across from the Pride Center. If you know where the walking labyrinth at Trinity Episcopal is, yeah, we're right under the Westbury Apartments, right down there. So, yeah, and
It's in downtown.
it will be very obvious. We are a very queer space. So yeah, you will. I'm always there. So yeah, you'll find me, and we'll just keep making community and making connections. That's what's down.
That's what's up. Yeah.
That's what's up, down, all around.
Well, thanks for joining me, Maggie. Come on the show again sometime.
Thank you,
I always love
Alejandro.
spending time and chatting with you. It feeds my soul.
We'll feed our bellies next time.
That's right. That's right. Thanks for coming on the show, Maggie. It was great to finally have you, and always good to see you. Yeah, good person that Maggie is. Go meet her. Yeah, she's a good person to talk to. Yeah, come down to a show. Subscribe to the Patreon. Again, that was a long one, so I'll keep it short on this outro too. I'm gonna play out on Los Lemons, Slow Down. That's the little intro tune that I use. So here's the full track. Enjoy, and I'll see you next time.